And now a message for the women of America from America's Man's Man. Please, do not be deceived. Do not worry about the images that you see on the fake news, or even from people who don't have your interests at heart, who are kind of maybe cropping up in your own neighborhood and using the fake news as a justification to blame you. Not just us, but you, the women, for everything that's gone wrong in their lives. I don't know about you, but as a white male, I personally feel kind of sickened by the way that it seems like today the fake news wants to blame us, white men, for everything. And you kind of go along with that because you're the women. But real American women of every stripe need not be afraid and need not be worried by the stupid things that the fake news and the violent rioters are saying. There are appropriate ways to deal with this, and the right way to deal with it is really to start by realizing that everything that these people are saying, both on the fake news and while they're throwing their Molotov cocktails, is totally ridiculous. And the only reason that they've been able to keep saying this for so long is because the television keeps telling them that it's what they ought to be saying. It's actually, if you'd really like to know what cultural appropriation is, maybe the media's gotten under your skin a little bit, ladies. Maybe they've gotten down to even criticizing every last hairstyle, every last piece of makeup that you have because you stole it from someone else, is what they're saying. Well, do you think these fake news anchors who make up this stuff about appropriation, about us appropriating them, do you think they're not ordering takeout Chinese and takeout pizza? Of course they are. Probably in between news breaks, and I've seen it myself, ladies and gentlemen. No. I'll tell you where the real cultural appropriation is and how it's going on. You want to know who's really appropriating American culture? It's the fake news. And they're doing it literally. But just like Saul Alinsky inspired Hillary Clinton and all of the radical left who seek to destroy America, they're just accusing us, real Americans, of doing the very thing that they're actually doing themselves as they're saying it. How? Well, let's look. First of all, they're obsessed with appropriation. Do you know why media is obsessed with appropriation? Well, media is obsessed with appropriation because media is essentially show business. It doesn't matter whether you're watching the infotainment news, CNN, Fox News, whatever. It's showbiz, kids. And there's kind of a rule in Hollywood that you can't use someone's image or likeness without their permission for commercial purposes. So let me ask you something. If the fake news makes a spectacle of you ladies, if the fake news tries to dig into you and saying, oh, you can't wear that anymore, oh, that makeup is off limits, oh, that jewelry, you stole that from someone, you're appropriating them. And meanwhile, they're reporting on you and your man or your men. Or maybe you don't have a man yet. Maybe they're reporting on you and your girlfriends and how insensitive you are. And maybe this insensitivity on your part is making so many people in the fake news uncomfortable. So they say, well, if they're reporting on us, if the fake news is using every single human tragedy, like the death of George Floyd, an African American, if the fake, and Tommy, the white man in Texas whom police stomped on that you'll never hear about ever in the fake news, because it doesn't suit their profit goals, it doesn't suit their monetary ends. Listen, ladies, take it from America's man's man. The fake news is trying to exploit all of us. When they talk about cultural appropriation and they accuse you, American girls, American women, of appropriating other cultures, just remember what hypocrites they really are. Because the fake news are the ones who are taking the stories like the death of George Floyd and millions of other human tragedies across the country. Who knows? Maybe it'll be someone that you care about tomorrow. They're taking those tragedies and they're turning them into entertainment for the masses. People far away who have no interest in you or your family or those who might be afflicted by whatever's going on in your community. Heck, maybe people are already, because of the fake news, maybe they're already throwing bricks at your school windows. And it's like, hey, we didn't do anything. It's like, don't stop blaming me for all of the world's problems that you find fake news just because I'm a white guy. I didn't do it, okay? Seriously. That's how I feel. But remember, at the end of the day, when they accuse us, when they accuse you of cultural appropriation because the media doesn't like your hairstyle or because the media doesn't like the way you look, maybe the media doesn't think that you're pretty for whatever reason, just remember that they're the ones who are appropriating us, real America. The definition of appropriation is literally using someone's likeness or image without our permission. And that's precisely what the fake news is doing. And I mean, for TV watchers, they never stop and think about it, but that's precisely why they accuse everyone else of appropriation, including the people who bring the most to this hallowed, sacred nation, God's exceptional nation, the land of the free, the home of the brave. Yes, when it comes to cultural appropriation, the fake news accuses us real Americans of it so much as they munch on their Chinese food in between commercial breaks. Because when it comes to cultural appropriation, the fake news, the infotainment media, CBS, ABC, you know the rest, and the FANG companies. When it comes to cultural appropriation, the fake news accuses us of it only because they're guilty of it themselves. They're the worst offenders, and they don't want us to stop and think about it. For America, for America's man's men, this is America's Man's Man.com's Peter Vidala.